Could somebody shout out an example of a habit that they want to change? Procrastination, no problem. We will get to that at some point later. Anyone else? Which?
Drop the perfectionism.
Perfect. Wasting time on it. Why are you here? I'm joking. Anyone else? Playing games on your phone. Fantastic. Scrolling on the phone. The phone is the evil demon. Anyone here can relate to that? Okay, perfect. So what is it about the phone that is insidious in that way? Why is it able to do that? It's because of the way in which the creators of the software, the creators of the phone, they know how our brains work and they use it. And what I want to do is I suppose, look behind the curtain with you and show you exactly how you can take control over your brain. Would that sound like a good plan? Excellent. Thank you. Good stuff. All right. So one of the most important things that I get asked a lot is, so what's the difference between sort of habits and goals, and are they different? And to me, there's what we call achievement goals. These are goals that we set where we want to accomplish a particular result. This is when I want to run the marathon, or I want to earn this amount per year, or I want to get my business to the point that I'm able to turn over this. These are the goals that we have for ourselves. I want to buy this house. The problem with those goals is that oftentimes those goals just last until we achieve them. And what I want to instead talk about is what we call habits of a lifetime. This is thinking about the habits that you're building so that your life gets progressively better as a result of it. And the beauty of a habit is when it's something that's automatic for you, it gets to the point that you don't even notice it. And one of the biggest mistakes people make is they come up to me and they ask the same question. I've asked this question as well many times. The question that they ask is, how long does it take to change a habit? And the answer really is, it depends. I mean, some research out there suggests it takes 21 days. Some say it takes 30 days. Some say it takes 66 days. But the reality is asking the question itself is the problem. Because if you're already asking, when do I not have to work at this? It means you're already waiting for the time where you go, okay, great. Now I no longer have to worry about playing on my phone. I went to North Korea about 10 years ago. And I remember you weren't allowed to bring phones into the country. So I had to leave my phone in China in a locker in a hotel there, and then flew over to Pyongyang. And I was about a week there. And for the first 2 days, it felt like I was coming off crack. I was constantly reaching into my phone trying to check the time. And that's what the people around me said, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I just want to know what time it is. And they said, you're wearing a watch. and for me, it was just so programmed. Now, after about 2 days, I got to this place where it was like an unexplainable sense of well-being. It was a total, like, default moment where I felt at peace and at one with the world. And I floated in that state because I was no longer contactable by anyone from the outside. I was no longer going to be responsive or reactive to the bings and the bongs that I got from my phone. And so in many ways, while the phone is a wonderful piece of technology that allows us to do amazing things, that allows us to be able to build incredible careers, it also is something we need to be able to change the relationship we have to it. And this means long term. There are 4 main reasons why it's hard to change habits. The first one is we expect to fail. Let me ask you, who here has set a New Year's resolution this year? It's almost like you're expecting to fail. Like we have, back home in Ireland, we have Lent. Even people who don't believe in God, they like Lent, right? Because it's an opportunity to go off something for a certain time period. The difference is in Ireland, we find ways around every rule. So in Ireland, it's Lent, so it's 40 days and you're not allowed to touch whatever it is that you're going off. However, we have St. Patrick's Day off. Some of my friends, they take Sundays off, the day of rest. Well, it's the day of rest. You're not even Christian. Doesn't matter. This is not the way we succeed at any habit. We need to adjust our expectations. We need to adjust the psychology that we have inside our head. And also, change is hard. The way in which our brains work makes it easy for us to do things the comfortable way, the easy way, the way we've always done it. It's the same neural pathways that we're creating, so we need to learn to change that. We also need to realize that oftentimes the change is not a priority. There's so many things we're doing. Who here is overwhelmed at all in their life? Right, okay? We are living in worlds where we're constantly subjected to so much information. And we have to try to sort and organize that information and try to figure out what's most important. You can't do everything. So when we don't make the change a priority, we don't actually take action. So we need to understand the fundamental why. We need to learn to believe in the change as opposed to just waiting for the motivation to strike. And the last reason it's hard is life gets in the way. People get in the way. I have a friend of mine who likes to do New Year's resolutions every year. And so this year, he made a New Year's resolution. He loves chocolate cake, has chocolate cake at least twice a week. And so he basically said, New Year's resolution, no more chocolate cake. And so on January the 8th, he ends up at a birthday party with his friend who always gets chocolate cake for her birthday. And he says to me, what am I supposed to do, Owen? It's a sign. I'm thinking to myself, yeah, it's a sign. It's a sign, all right. But for him, in his head, he had not prepared for or thought through what the challenges were going to be. Life is going to get in the way. You will decide to engage in a certain habit, that habit that you just mentioned to the person next to you. And then I guarantee you something's going to get in the way. And what we do whenever that gets in the way will determine how likely we are to overcome it.